Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, that's Nicole.
Previously on Nicole's channel.
Last video we talked about surveillance in our daily life, the use of this technology and what's the potential danger of it. So today we are going to talk about whether this extensive surveillance system practice constitutes a violation of personal privacy. In the last decade, it's become increasingly normal for celebrities to be robbed and for government agencies to spy on citizens, to collect and store their personal information. Technological advances have vastly expanded the government's monitoring ability. Wiretapping and bugging have been joined by space-age eavesdropping and computer hacking techniques that make interception of oral and written communication efficiently easier than in J. Edgar Hoover's day. Now that nearly all of us are online connected or digital in some way, spies are no longer just watching one or two bad guys. Instead, in the UK and US governments are both collecting massive amounts of information from the things we do on our phones and over the internet. As we move into the information age, the government has expanded its arsenal of techniques to protect security. Law enforcement in the past mostly involved searches of homes, people, and papers. Solove points out, now the government uses technology to gather records and data, to engage in audio and visual surveillance, and to track movement. Much law enforcement activity with implication of privacy involves information gathering. In addition to gathering information, the government also stores it, uses it, analyzes it, combines it, and sometimes discloses it. All these activities can threaten privacy. Did you remember the reason for government using surveillance? Right, find the terrorists and stop them. In the wake of deadly terror attacks in the 1990s, London authorities became early adopters of widespread CCTV surveillance. In the UK alone, there are 4 to 6 million CCTV cameras watching citizens, often without our awareness. After the 911, the US government concluded that the law had not kept pace with technology, so they created the terrorist surveillance program. The NSA implemented the program to intercept Al-Qaeda communications. Some officials even were confident that if the program in place before 911, the hijackers would be stopped. But the FBI began to use immigration records to identify Arab and Muslim foreign nationals in the US. From an interview of Professor Cui, we can know they called in 80,000 people for special registration, 8,000 for FBI interviews, and more than 5,000 locked up in preventive detention, simply because they are from Arab and Muslim countries. How many of those people are convicted of terrorist crime? 0. Until 2013, Edward Snowden leaks document told us how NSA was collecting the telephone records of tens of millions of Americans, then prompted a cultural discussion about national security and individual privacy.
One guy sitting in front of a monitor can track with precision an unimaginably large number of people. For the first time in human history, it's both technologically and financially feasible for governments to track and store nearly complete records of our private lives.
According to USA Today, the program, which enabled the United States to secretly track billions of phone calls made by millions of US citizens over a period of decades, was a blueprint for the NSA surveillance that would come after it, with similarities too close to be coincidental.
What this court order does that makes it so striking, it's collecting the phone records of every single customer of Verizon Business. It's a government program designed to collect information about all Americans, not just people where they believe there's reason to think they've done anything wrong.
So instead of focusing on criminals, the government increasingly turning their attention to everyone. Well, my surveillance cannot stop lone wolves. Despite high hopes, the NSA surveillance program has not stopped any major terror attack. For example, one of the Boston Marathon bombers already a target of the FBI. There are people who want to bring harm and they are smart, with nothing to lose. In recent years, as terrorist attacks have occurred in various countries, Each country has expanded its anti-terrorism laws to give law enforcement greater power. The government gradually expanded the scope of their surveillance. Some countries even introduced more restrictive laws on the freedom of assembly and speech. People's freedom of expression and the press was seriously undermined, even sentenced to prison for criticizing the government. Well, actually, none of this can help us fight the terrorism, and the motivation behind this may be good or noble, but if the government began to limit our freedom or leak our privacy, the terrorists are winning. Or worse, we may slowly move towards a surveillance state. So that's all about today. So if you know you're being watched, will it change your behavior or change the way you talk to your friends? Will you still trust the world around you? Please give me some comments about your thoughts and give me a thumb up and subscribe my channel. See you guys next time.